What up, what up? Good morning. Cheers. Today I wanted to talk about a moment in my life that was challenging, but also really full of relief, really. This is when I came out to my father. He was one of the last people I came out to. I didn't come out to him until I was in my mid to late 20s. Getting choked up? Just kidding. No, I'm good. Good? We're good. Coming out to your parents is not an easy thing. For anybody who might be struggling, telling parents, family members, people close to you who may have different viewpoints about being a queer or trans, it's I understand that fear. I understand it very well. To be here in front of this camera to say that I'm out to my family and that I'm getting married in a few months, and they have my support. I have their support. Is sometimes it's hard to believe sometimes. The point of this story is I guess I just want to share my story, my experience, so that you have an understanding of what one path can look like. It's not the same for everyone. I will put some links in the description for anybody who is looking for resources. So I grew up in a very conservative town family, Mexican, Catholic. I'm like hybrid. My mom was from LA, my dad's from Mexico, so I'm kind of like hybrid of first generation Mexican here. Growing up, being gay was not talked fondly about. When you would hear somebody was gay, it was a thing. And unfortunately, it was a negative thing. So growing up, I always thought, well, we're Catholic, we're Catholic. I think back and I'm just like, wow, like, really, Jackie? I thought if you were Catholic, there was no way that you could be gay. I'm sitting here with the Virgen de Guadalupe shirt as a proud gay woman who loves God. Anyways, just to paint a picture, I just was very oblivious. But looking back, I've had a lot of time to really process and think about what I was thinking inward. Outwardly, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, gay people, this, like, what? Like, yeah, that's weird, But inward, man, I've been reflecting a lot and realizing how much I have filtered myself and how much I hid from myself. I recently realized that there was only one day in my high school career or experience that I actually allowed myself to feel queer thoughts. That I intentionally told myself that morning, you know what, today, if you feel like you like this girl, because it was a girl in one of my classes, if you like this girl, just let yourself like this girl and don't feel shame. I had to intentionally tell myself this, and I did, and it was one of the most freeing days, but it was also one of the most scary days because I really got to see what I was really thinking inside and what I had been thinking inside. And a lot of people think that media or people around you change your thoughts, but it's like I can look back now and I've been thinking that I was probably into girls since I was like 8. Trying to paint this picture because when you're thinking all this, and then you're in your 20s and you realize like your life is going to be different. You're going to live a gay life, right? What does that mean? Am I going to be okay? Who's going to tell me that it's going to be okay? And so it's really scary and it's really lonely. I love my parents, and I always respected what they had to say. Specifically, my father. I did end up telling my mother when I was younger because I don't know. I'm very close to my mother, and I don't know. I just felt like it was important to tell her. But this story in particular is about telling my father because, it wasn't information that was well received, and so I want to share this because if you're a parent out there, or you're going to be, or somebody, when you look at your dad, you want to know that they're gonna take care of you. They're gonna tell you it's gonna be okay. And when I told my dad I was gay, it was, well, to his credit, he did hug me. But what happened after that was he was really confused and he was confused and he wasn't sure how to deal with it. And You know, he didn't have the resources and whatnot, but I think foundationally, I think any parent out there, if you love your kid, you love them unconditionally, and you're gonna learn things about them that are different than what you grew up with, because we're living in a more open world, and people think, oh, we're too open. Well, have you ever thought about that we've been too closed off? I mean, really, I gotta give myself one day in my high school trajectory to feel okay, to feel the things I'm thinking. I ended up telling my dad, because we were taught at the time. I had moved back home after living in Atlanta. I think living in Atlanta, far away from my family and everybody, for a year really made me force myself to really think about how I wanted to continue carrying on. And living at home, we were having a conversation about the Bible and how things are not always black and white, and oh gosh, I just had to tell him. I was like, he's living in a he needs to evolve, I just was like, I need to educate this guy. And I remember I was like, I have to tell you something, and I couldn't look at him in the eyes. I was like, am I doing this? Keep in mind, prior to this, I had written letters, handwritten letters, emails on the computer, like drafts of what coming out to my father, and this is how I'm doing it. So I run into the other room, and I sit on the couch, and I literally am covering my eyes like this, that's how scared I was, that I couldn't even literally face him. And I don't know if I said I'm gay, or I had a girlfriend, or something to alluding to that. And he did hug me because I was bawling, I was crying. So, I mean, But after that, it was he just was questioning it and asking me questions I don't think he would ever otherwise ask me. And it was uncomfortable. And the next day, he also said some things that basically letting me know that this was awful news that he didn't know how to process. And I appreciate that he was honest. I mean, he could have just lied to me, I guess, but I'm proud of myself now that I look back, and I remember telling him I can't talk to you right now. I didn't engage with it, Sure, it hurt me a lot, but I'm really happy with myself that I was honest, and that I stood my ground. And I shortly after that, I moved out, because it was an uncomfortable environment, and it was tough. And gosh, I'm just thinking about it because I don't think about this a lot. But yeah, it was definitely a big motivator to move out. I'd met somebody, and when you're around other people who are gay, there's a sense of safetyness and warmness. And so I moved out, and luckily, after space and time, a distance and time, he came around, and we would talk about it here and there. And eventually he's accepted Anna, my partner, my fiance, into our lives. And we're planning a big family trip, all of us going to Hawaii, and he asked me for Anna's number to be added to the WhatsApp. So things took its time, but I guess my one key takeaway, to be honest, with this whole story is that and it will be a recurring theme here, is you. Whoever's watching this, you are awesome, and you have what it takes to be who you are, and you should be exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest lesson, is trust yourself, build that relationship with yourself, build that armor for yourself, so that you can be who you want to be. And even the people who are closest to you, even if they may not understand it, you can find community. And be patient with yourself, be patient with others, but hold that armor, hold it. The irony of all this is that, I'll end it with here, is that the irony of this thing with my father is that he was actually going to be the very first person I told. Before my mother, before my friends, everybody. It was going to be my dad. I mean, I think that's why this story is so interesting for me. Is like, oh my God, like this is the one guy that I trusted enough at 17 years old to be like, Dad, like, I think I'm gay. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And that was definitely like a marker for me in terms of like starting my own life and my independence. Was he had taken me to my college orientation. And we were driving back and I was asking him and I was kind of alluding to the question, and I don't know what he said in his answer where I was like, man, like I was self-aware to be like, this guy's like pretty closed off. Like, I don't think I can do this with him right now. I don't think he's going to help me the way that I need to be helped. And that made me think, well, does that mean I think I know how I need to be helped? Like I was starting to really think for myself and be like, okay, what does Jackie need? And you know, yeah, it's a bummer that I couldn't be honest with him in that moment, because later on he did tell me, like, why didn't you tell me? But, you know, wow, like, it was daunting and it was scary and it was definitely emotional to make a decision in that split second to be like, you know what, I need to start figuring this out on my own. But I think it speaks to the resilience that we all have, and I'm happy that I'm starting to get it, and I hope that something sparks for you too. You know, wherever you are in your life, and whatever the topic is, whatever you're struggling with, that you like, you know, look inward and see your strength, because you have it. We all do. We all do. We just gotta be able to find the space to uncover that and to really see it for what it is. Cheers.